welcome to another edition of the Paradise Paranormal Podcast. I'm Big Dave, along with Ryan Brogdon, the founders of Answers Paranormal Investigations, and, of course, Haunted Nation, the series of films. Matter of fact, just some good news for some of our viewers out there. We're going to be announcing a new film coming out soon. We're going to be kind of wrapping up some filming that we are doing on it before we fully announce it. There's going to be a big thing happening this next week. Our podcast will be live this next week, and it'll be on Monday evening around 7-ish instead of on Sunday at 1 because it's going to be live. And then it will be followed by a live investigation. So be listening, be watching, get your notifications on your YouTube channel. And when we go live, we will reveal to you where we are at and what's going on. Okay, with that being said, tonight we are talking about Ghost Adventures. Why? Why Ghost Adventures? What the hell are they going to talk about Ghost Adventures for? Well, look, if you are big into the paranormal, whether you admit it or not, you've watched Ghost Adventures. All right? Whether you admit it or not, even in their worst moments, you were probably watching Ghost Adventures.
Oh, yeah.
I'm guilty of it. All right, Ryan, you're guilty of it.
Oh, yeah, I've seen them all.
Exactly. Here's the thing. It's the reason why we're going to talk about this tonight is, look, you saw the thumbnail for our episode tonight, Ghost Adventures, real, fake, real. What we mean by that is that's what their whole career has been like for the person who's a fan of the show or someone who just watches regularly out of curiosity, is you are consistently saying this to yourself. Are they real? Are they fake? Or are they real? Or maybe you're the kind of person who's like me. They're real. They're fake. Well, wait a minute. That might be real. The reason why is because their seasons have seemed to go from all about the legitimate evidence and scientific methods to get evidence of the paranormal, to all of a sudden 2 or 3 seasons in a row where it's all about the drama of Zak Bagans, all right? Or what may be going on behind the scenes that we don't know about with the group. Yep. God only knows what it's like to be a fly on the wall around that group, you know what I mean? But then, a couple seasons later, it seems like they're back on track, and they're starting to do more experiments and getting more legitimate evidence, or so it appears.
Yeah.
Right. So we're not here to tell you whether Ghost Adventures is real or fake, because you know what? Just like you, we have no clue. I mean, it could go either way. It really could. It could go either way. My guess is some seasons that it's fake. All right. My guess is some seasons that it's absolutely legit. So what that leads me to believe as a paranormal researcher is that maybe it's a little bit of both. Maybe they are using certain investigations where they catch jack crap to at least keep it entertaining by adding drama. Yeah. Maybe that's it. And then on the investigations where they catch something and it's a lot of evidence happening, they just go straight to the evidence. Maybe that's what it is. That's my best guess on Ghost Adventures.
I don't think they would actually fake the evidence itself. I think the evidence kind of speaks for itself that they get. I think it's legit. I think it's the fact that when they have a couple episodes where they just haven't caught a whole lot, then they just turn on the drama and, put their acting shoes on and, have those ridiculous, personal experiences and try to time with that instead.
Well, look, I mean, we've made a few films. Of course, we're in a different situation. We're not signed up with some big network. Most of our films are on a paranormal streaming network called Paraflix, paraflix.com. If you want to go to, you can see our 2 first films, The Haunted Nation, The Haunted Hill House, and Haunted Nation, Stone Lion Inn. My point I'm getting to is that you and I have an ongoing rule that, if we don't catch anything at a location, even though you have chucked out a whole bunch of money on the place, we just call it a wash and we move on to the next place. We don't make a film out of it. We only
Right.
make films out of locations where we catch evidence. So if anybody's ever wondering if we're real, legit, there's your answer. Okay. The reason why all of our films have a lot of activity in it is because we're only showing you the investigations that we decided to make a film out of.
Right.
But with that being said, what you just said, maybe we should incorporate something like that. Maybe you could do some kind of dramatic thing or something like that. You think you could act like you're really, freaked out and scared and run?
I probably could.
I mean,
But
I think it'd be fun to watch you run. That would be entertaining.
I mean, I have done a little acting. I do have a little IMDb page with a
That's
couple of
true.
titles on it. I have done a little bit, and I did have to run a couple of times. But
That's true. You used to be an extra. You used to be hired on as an extra for a lot of the.
oh yeah, you can do all kinds of extra stuff.
We'll
Yeah.
talk about that one day. But
Oh yeah, it's fun.
yeah, you could
But
do that. Maybe I could find a way to be really, dramatic and freak out. And you know what? Let's just show. Let's just show first of all. Get back to Ghost Adventures.
yeah,
Ghost Adventures, when they first started out, seemed so legit. All right, I was just getting into the paranormal at that point. I had a curiosity for many years, and I watched their first documentary, and my mind was blown when I saw the brick. You remember the brick?
oh yeah,
Yeah. Holy crap! The first time ever on film, poltergeist activity caught on camera. Let's show that. Let's show that. We got that clip?
yeah, absolutely.
Let's show that clip real quick.
What room? Is that you making all the noise? Holy! Oh my God! Holy! Stop! Stop!
The naked eye, so we're going to go ahead and get started with that right now. All right, we're going to take a look at some footage here of a brick that takes flight, and here you can see it go off right here, right there. I'm going to bring up some graphics right here in a second that's going to show you of a straight line on which if the brick was launched or pulled in any way that it would have gone in a straight line, and you'll be able to see that underneath the line, you'll be able to see the brick come right here underneath the line there, kind of dip down underneath of it right there. Here's another view of it, dip down and kind of went in an arch there. So in my opinion, that it doesn't look like it's been tampered with. It looks like that something threw this brick. The next thing that I visually observed is the spinning of the brick.
So there you go. First time ever watching a paranormal documentary, and you see that, and you have an interest in the paranormal. You're either gonna crap your pants or go, "Oh my God, it's real. Ghosts are real, and they've proven it." Why isn't the scientific community going crazy over this footage? Especially when you saw that he took it to, what do they call those guys?
He was
Film expert,
an analyst that
analyst.
that could go through the footage and look for any kind of tampering,
Masking, blah, blah, blah.
actually watching the way the brick moves to see if there was any kind of strings or anything in the background that could have made it move, and he gave him the green light on it, said it was legit.
Well, I mean, there you go. Okay, so they go from that. Obviously, if you've been keeping track of Ghost Adventures, they weren't actually Ghost Adventures then, like we know them now. What was it? Travel Channel picked them up at that point.
Yeah, that was
signed them on as Ghost Adventures, and they began this whole series, which now we're in season 26
yeah.
now. Which shows our age because we've been watching them before they were even Ghost Adventures.
Yeah.
But so watching their first season, if you've had a chance to go through their first season, it was all about the evidence. It was all about the experiments. It was all about catching what appeared to be real paranormal activity. There was a little bit of drama, a wee bit of drama.
It was more of Zach being a douchebag than drama. He was just kind of flaunting his, his fancy cross shirts and frohawk and all that stuff. Oh yeah.
We are demon hunters. Yeah, I mean it's.
Do you remember that conversation we had with?
Yeah.
But that did the actual impression of Zach when
that was.
that was great.
real quick, we did an investigation somewhere, and the lady who owned the place that we did the investigation had Zak Bagans there. They did an investigation. Well, it was the Stone Line Inn, and she was doing a almost spot on impression of Zak Bagans. Anyway, I wish we could have filmed that. That would have been great.
Yeah, that was
But
fun.
anyway, you watch that first season, and it's a progression. It's a progression into things becoming more dramatic, and then it seemed when this whole thing happened with Nick Groff, that's when shit just went downhill as far as the dramatics go. It was almost like Nick was somebody keeping him grounded, so to speak.
Yeah.
And then when whatever that was, that still everybody's kind of being vague about, happened between him and Nick, and it was just Zak Bagans and Aaron and the guys. It just went bizarre. It
did.
Really went bizarre.
Yeah, it did start before Nick left, but it kind of gives me an idea that's probably something that kind of started the separation, was the bringing on of the dramatics and the I'm possessed in every episode, and all that kind of stuff. That I think things kind of started to. That's when the conversations behind the scenes started happening. Like you can just kind of see Nick going, "Dude, what are you doing?"
I know, right? It's like we are trying to do an investigation here, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, hey, it's my show now, and this is what we do.
Well, what was it? Zak Bagans was, in case many of you guys don't know, Zak Bagans started out his career as a wedding DJ.
Yep.
So he had a little opportunity to learn a little bit about how to, to work the microphone, so to speak. And I'm guilty myself. I was a DJ for many years. I had a talk radio show. In Dallas Fort Worth. I had. I am on the radio now. I do. I do Red Dirt out here where I'm at, Afternoon Drive, and you have got some acting experience as an extra in films, but we try to separate that with our investigations. We only use those tools when those tools are necessary, like stuff like this.
Right. Yeah.
It's important for us to be very well communicated to the best of our ability so that we can try to get information to people.
Yeah, no, we've been to some locations where it would have been easy to fake stuff or put on dramatics or a whole show, but that's not what we're about in any way. We're so focused on the paranormal research side of it and coming up with experiments and things like that to actually capture paranormal evidence. That's what our focus is. And you'll notice that, we're not 20-year-old YouTubers. We're not jumping around acting crazy, trying to get the entertainment side of it, because we don't really care. We're not, we want it to be entertaining, but we want it to be entertaining because of the evidence and because of the action that's happening, not because, we get all excited and start screaming when we hear, a knock from across the room. It's not that stuff.
Right. Our point is not the shock value of our reactions. Our point in doing these films is to get a shock value out of you, out of what we catch. Because believe it or not, we may not act like it, but when we catch some really amazing evidence, we're doing everything we can to stay calm. Because it's hard to contain yourself. Okay, Ghost Adventures. Coming up here in a few minutes, we're going to play an example of some of the dramatics that's happened just over the last few seasons that has brought most of the fans of Ghost Adventures to go fake, or in my opinion, oh man, that's they're fake, or they've gone fake, or whatever.
Right.
But we're going to play that. Matter of fact, let's just play that right now.
Me? Yeah, I said you! Stop, dude. Get out of here! Aaron, come here. Hold this. Stop! Let go. Let go. Put it down. I'm right here. Let go of your neck. Stop. Let go of your neck. Let go of your Zach, let go of your neck. Stop it. Zach, stop, bro. Bro, stop. Stop. Go up there. Zach, what are you doing? I don't know. Stop. Stop, Zach. Stop. Let go of yourself. Let go of your hand. Let go of your neck. Stop.
Aaron has no idea of the consequences that this decision will have on him.
You alright? What happened? Something just came at me. Oh, I'm coming. Where are you at? What was that? Oh, something hit me, man. No. Whoa, dude. I'm sorry. Something hit me, bro. See, look, this is where I was. Right here. How did I get all the way back there? Oh.
As we see Aaron's flashlight in the bushes, we also see an area about 20 feet away in the dirt where he landed. Something unseen picked Aaron up and threw him this distance.
Jesus, Richard. I'm going to regular vision.
Bro, how did you hit the ground so hard?
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with your face? You're like, what's wrong with his eyes? Dude, did you see his eyes? Let me see your arm. You okay?
I'm bleeding everywhere, dude. I can feel blood just gushing out of me.
Okay, here's what happened.
I'm looking in here, and something came at me and hit me, and I literally, boom. And I was just, hey, I'm gonna go look over here. I wasn't even rolling.
What came at you?
Nothing, I don't know. It was just some, like, force. Just boom, and I just, look where I landed.
You landed here,
And I happened
20
here.
feet. Did you feel something like
Hit
throw
me.
you back?
I got hit, and next thing you know,
But you look at your camera's a good 20 feet back there. That's where you landed, bro. This is where you were.
All right, first of all, I'm a little disappointed in Aaron because he's my favorite, and I know he's your favorite too. But
Yep.
before we go into that, let's talk about Goatman's Bridge for a second, because we have investigated Goatman's Bridge on more than one occasion, and we have caught jack crap except for people out on a midnight walk with a few beers in their hands,
Yep.
getting in the camera view or messing up an experiment that we're doing. Other than that, we caught nothing.
Scariest thing I caught or we saw there was a copperhead. I was
And that's pretty damn scary.
It is. We stopped the investigation because
Damn
we
straight.
literally within like 3 minutes saw 3 of them. One was sitting right in the middle of the path waiting for us, and then as soon as it moved, another one crossed the path, and we looked to the left into that entrance into that really cool looking area, and there was one sitting right there, and I was like, all right, pack it up.
And
We're done.
that's the reason why I tell you every time you suggest an outdoor investigation. That's
I know.
just one of the many reasons I hate outdoor investigations. All right. So Goatman's Bridge, there's a great example right there of
Well, and
Zak Bagans' drama. Did you see that? I mean,
It's bad.
look. Okay, I'm going to use this as an example. At Stone Lion Inn, I had a very first experience paranormally, and it was a personal experience. Okay, and personal experiences are any paranormal investigators had one. They're like buttholes. Everybody's got one. Okay, so I'm not going to go much into that, but I will say this: my personal experience was for the first time ever feeling something. It was some sort of entity or being that went into my body and then left my body. And for the longest time, Ryan will tell you, I'm a big believer that possession is one of those things I'm not a big believer in. I just, I was like that. Now, not so much. After that experience, I can understand how it might happen. To me, it felt like something entered my body. It took my breath away. It almost felt like I had jumped into an ice cold tub of, ice water.
Right.
You know how it takes your breath away and you can't breathe?
Yep.
I couldn't catch my breath, and it lasted for about 5 or 6 seconds, and then it left. Now, this was followed by an audible whisper that happened behind Ryan's ear. Okay,
Right,
so
right.
it was a twofer kind of thing, which made it even more important that
Right.
happened to me. It was almost like it came up to you, and then it went through me to scare the crap out of me.
Yep.
Point in saying that is that at no time did I feel like I was going to have to choke myself. There was not a moment where it was in me so long that I felt as if, okay, this is the time where I've lost complete control of my body. Wait a minute, hold on, stop, hold on a second, wait a second. You're supposed to be telling me, Dave, take your hand away from your throat, Dave.
If you're actually choking yourself, I'm going to sit there and watch because I know that something's going on.
Thanks a lot. Such an asshole.
Yeah.
God. Pick your friends wisely, folks.
Yeah. Now this next investigation, one of us is going to start punching ourselves, and we're going to be like, "Oh yeah, that's payback."
Yeah. Right.
Crap.
Man,
yeah.
I'm just going to sit here and watch you hit yourself. What are you doing, man? I'm kicking my ass.
Kicking my ass. Do you mind?
The dramatics.
Oh yeah.
Look, man. He says he's a sensitive now, right? This just came out after 26 seasons. This season, he finally says to everybody, "I'm a sensitive."
Yep.
Come on, you and I both believe that that's just his way of explaining those kind of dramatics.
Yep, that's all it is. It's a sideways explanation for the last couple of seasons.
I like
what it is?
Do I like Zak Bagans? I can't help it. I mean, it's so freaking entertaining to watch. Sometimes it's absolutely mind-blowing entertaining, and other times it's like a train wreck and you just can't stop watching.
And it's a weird thought process because he is such a douchebag in some of them. He's also really over the top on a lot of things, but you still just know, if you really think about it, this is the guy that has run Ghost Adventures for 26 seasons, has captured some of the craziest evidence you've seen on TV, paranormal wise. And so you have to have respect for the guy. Plus, he has the same passion that we have. I mean, this dude opened a museum and collected almost every paranormal thing you could think of and crammed it in there. I mean, the dude is doing what we would love to do. He's living the best life of a paranormal investigator. And it's kind of like, in the UFC, like when Anderson Silva was on top for so many years and couldn't be beat. Everybody, like, at first everybody's like, yeah, Anderson Silva. And then towards the end, like, somebody kicked this dude's ass already. It's kind of the same thing. The dude's been on top for so long, and now it's kind of annoying. But, I mean, he's pretty much the champ when it comes to...
As viewers, as fans, we can't help but watch. So, You're right. You have to give him his due respect.
Yeah.
Okay, so something happened this last summer. We're going to talk briefly about that because I don't know a whole lot about it because, like you at home, you're probably kind of like, I don't know a whole bunch of what happened either. All I know is there was a big stir up and all of a sudden nothing. Nobody said anything else. You know a little bit about it. You've heard some rumors here and there. Nothing of what you're about to say here is fact except for what you heard come out of Nick Groff. Is that correct?
Yeah, and
so what exactly was said, just real quickly?
Yeah, and I'm just like, I'm watching, drama about, some, big event or something like that. As much as everybody else is into that, I'm the same. If there's any kind of drama going on in the paranormal world, then I'm all over it. I want to hear every bit of it. And that's kind of what it was. There was a lot of different videos coming out about, Zak is faking stuff. Zak is, running the network and pushing people off. And because there was a time where, just several months ago where shows were getting canceled and, things were happening. And it was like some of everybody's favorite shows and everybody's panicking and freaking out. And they're all pushing it onto Zak. Zak's doing it. Well, for one, that's not the case. It is and it isn't. It was the case as far as Nick Groff was concerned. He didn't want to be on the same network as Nick Groff. So he was basically like, look, it's him or me kind of situation. But the other shows like...
And what happened between them, nobody really knows.
Nobody really knows, but from what I understand, it all stemmed, and this is from a video that Nick Groff put out, that it all kind of started back in the day, and apparently Zak started saying that Nick cheated on somebody or something like that, and Zak just didn't like it. It was some inside drama. and if you go watch the video that Nick Groff put out, he does discuss this and talks about it. And because Nick or Zach would always say, Nick's done bad things, and he wanted to distance himself. So that's apparently how it kind of got started. And then when Nick finally left the show, it wasn't a, hey, Nick, you're fired, or we're going a different direction. It was just Ghost Adventures was out shooting episodes, and Nick was sitting at home waiting for that phone call to go shoot, and they never called him.
Nobody's ever calling the guy. They just
left him.
All of a sudden, he's sitting there watching his TV that weekend. Oh, we got a new episode. Huh?
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what happened. And
nobody called me on this.
Right.
Hell?
Yeah, and he finally talked to him or talked to the producers or whatever, and they told him what was up, and it was like, okay, well. And then every show he tried to do after that somehow would get, 1 season and done, or something would happen, and it all stemmed back to Zach. Zach didn't want him on the network, and would kind of start throwing his weight around and getting him pushed off, and really kind of trying to hurt his career.
So they kind of had a choice.
Yeah. And that's why Nick's doing great now. He's gone independent. Now he's using independent streaming services and YouTube and all that stuff. And the guy's doing great. He's where he needs to be. Yeah.
Okay, so now real quick, a lot of people are interested about Destination Fear. He was the producer, the executive producer of Destination Fear, and all of a sudden it's gone.
He was.
What the hell was this about? Is this Zak Bagans incident? Is this a Zak Bagans going, you guys are getting a little too good, I think maybe, because this is the rumor. I think maybe you guys need to be off this network too, because now you're starting to, get in on my action.
Right.
That's what people are thinking.
Yes, and that's still kind of the speculation. And Dakota from Destination Fear, he kind of won't go as far as to say that, but he did put out a statement saying that is he a friend of ours, or has he been a friend to us? No. And is he supporting the show in any way? No. And that's where he left it. So he wasn't saying that he was sabotaging the show for any reason, but he was saying that he's definitely not getting any support or contact from the guy.
Okay, folks. So what is that?
What think would happen?
I'm sorry, I talked over you.
That's what you think would happen. I mean, if the show's doing that great and Zach's, producer of it and everything else, why would you not? I mean, they were doing so, and still are now, but they were doing so good on that network. And it was like one of the shows
right
to go watch.
So if that's all he said,
yeah,
what does that lead us to believe? At least it leads me to believe, with just logic, that there's some sort of gag order or some sort of what is it? It's not a no compete clause. What is it called?
An NDA, non-disclosure agreement.
Non-disclosure. And that makes sense. I mean, a lot of the big networks have that.
Yeah, they do, and there may be something like that there. I think it really just Dakota doesn't want to. We've talked before about burning bridges and stuff. I don't think maybe he just doesn't want to be that guy that's like, oh, this is what happened, blah 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 blah. He's just trying to kind of keep it simple, vague. This is it, blah blah blah. Let's move on.
Okay,
and it's paid off.
Yeah, it has. It has. They're doing fantastic. They got a new YouTube channel out right now too.
Yeah, and the show is still great. I mean, they're doing a great job.
I'm proud of them. I like the kids. I really do. Speaking of Dakota Laden, you found something that for some reason all these years we never knew about or have heard about. Maybe some of our viewers already have seen this video. Maybe this is just going to be just as much of a big surprise to them as it was to us when we first found this video. Ryan is the one who found it. This is absolutely brilliant.
I don't know how I haven't heard anything about it or haven't seen anything about it.
All right.
Ever.
Well,
this is video gold.
It is. Let's let them watch this. Yes, if you think they look familiar, that's because you're looking at Dakota Laden and the other guys.
Oh.
Okay, and this was way before Ghost Adventures and him being a cameraman for him. Here it is.
We are at Dixie Rex Manor. It opened in the 1900s, and it has been occupied by many different people. This place is super creepy. It's super mysterious. It's super old. And that is why we are here. Yep. What the fuck?
My name is Zak Bagans. I never believed in ghosts until I came face to face with one. So I set out on a quest to capture what I once saw on the video. I am joined only by my fellow investigator, Nick Groff, and our equipment tech, Aaron Goodwin.
We're not running from this. Someone just scratch me.
These are our ghost adventures.
This building was opened in 1922.
Wow.
Originally, it was used as a mental institution, but it was shut down in 1950 because of malpractice. They were abusing the patients.
Wow.
There was a patient who died here named Zak Goff. He had a severe case of Tourette's. Right here, you can see it.
This one?
Yep.
Okay.
That's said to be the portal to hell.
Wow.
Or the crack to hell.
The crack to hell.
Yep.
Really, bro?
Yeah, bro.
Oh, man.
Dude.
Oh, bro.
Yeah, brother man.
One night, I got possessed by a ghost demon named Dick.
How did they die?
The cause of death is unknown, but it's said that they were having intercourse when they died.
Oh my god. Wow, that's really sad. That's horrible.
It is, I know.
That's horrible. That's so sad. That's so horrible.
He's got a boner. Okay, so in this room,
Yeah.
two things happen.
Uh-huh.
First, the closet.
The closet, okay.
We hear voices.
Oh shit! Oh my gosh, I hate clowns, dude. Seriously, sorry, dude. I hate clowns so much.
And number two, everyone that stays in this room seems to get touched sexually.
I'm gonna be staying in this room alone.
Sounds like a succubus.
Yeah. And that is why we are here.
Yeah.
Yes!
Yeah.
Yes! Sexual ghost.
But mate, you never let me finish. This ghost seems to be gay.
It's not a succubus, it's an incubus. A gay incubus.
Don't tell him.
Oh.
Yeah,
Next room.
Quest to capture what I once saw.
And this is why we're here.
It's so good.
Wow.
Good. This was 10 years ago.
10 years ago. This is before Dakota Laden even started being the cameraman for Ghost Adventures, right?
It's been sitting on YouTube for 10 years. Yeah, before.
When you checked it, I thought, what is it, 170,000 views is all it's got?
Well, there's 4 or 5 different parodies that they have on there.
Okay.
One of them has like 365,000 or something.
Okay, so look, I know you're probably saying, where can I find this? I've got to see this because, yeah, this thing is hilarious. And believe it or not, this is the one that we just showed you is actually a 20-minute clip. All right, so we just narrowed it down to some of the really funny parts. But there's a whole lot more funny stuff in there. Here is the link to go watch that video. Yes, those are the Destination Fear guys. And wow, kudos to them. That's some funny shit.
I don't know if maybe those videos are how him and Zak got connected in the first place. If Zak was like, dude, that's some funny stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
maybe he did. Maybe he did. Maybe that's how it all started.
Maybe Zak doesn't even know about it, which is even funnier to think that, you know, after all this time, is like, oh yeah, dude, I made some parody videos about you a long time ago.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You know, this whole time, one thing I've been keeping from you, bitch.
Yeah, exactly. That's even funnier to think, but who knows? But yeah, this is
awesome.
Old man, this is great stuff.
It is. I'm actually going to save that in my YouTube channel. I'm subscribing. I don't know if they'll ever start doing any more of them, but that was some funny stuff. So look, okay, so we're gone full circle. We've seen them start out legitimate Ghost Adventures. We've seen them turn into the drama. Once again, real, fake, and then this season starts. After all this stuff that happened over the last few months, this season, 26, started off with an investigation that was absolutely fantastic. Yes, I'm going to say it. Ghost Adventures had a fantastic beginning episode. All right,
Yep.
and they have been making episodes, and so far this season, there's been some Zak Bagans drama. There always is now,
Yeah.
but it's been somewhat minimal. And I've noticed they're going back to the experiments, back to taking time in getting real paranormal evidence and spending money to find that evidence. Matter of fact, the first episode of this season, what did they use? Is it called a LiDAR?
Man, I want it so bad. Yeah, it's a
They went through this cave and there was like this thing, and it was absolutely mind blowing. I mean, those are the kind of scientific things, scientific evidence that we get excited about. You and I do.
oh
When
yeah.
we see pieces of equipment that can pull off certain things like that, we just go, wow. You know,
Man, so many places I'd love to walk through with that thing on my back and just map out the entire play, every little speck in those places. I mean, it's just to equipment like that. I mean, yeah, you got to be top dogs to afford stuff like that. You know,
Oh, yeah.
that is that's the dream machines of paranormal investigators right there.
That's right. That's right. And they are using a lot of new types of equipment and new types of experiments this summer, this season.
Yep.
They've got my attention. They've got your attention.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
Can they keep it up though? Is this just going to be one of those fluke seasons where they go back to their roots, or is this going to last halfway through the season and then they run across some place they don't catch much evidence, and because the network paid so much money for them to be there, they say you got to make an episode regardless of whether you catch something or not, and they end up just doing all the drama again. We don't know.
Yeah,
We're going to find out.
Yeah, there's no telling. We also don't know that maybe with the new network they're going to let them do more places, more investigations, so they can pick out the good ones on what they're actually going to shoot films on. You don't know, but yeah, you got to keep fingers crossed and everything else that they're all as good as they have been. I watched the one from this last week, this last newest one, and it was pretty good too. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of drama. It was a decent amount of evidence, not a lot, but they did get some stuff that was pretty cool, and they are able to keep it entertaining enough that if they just get a little bit of evidence, get enough to EVPs and responses, things like that it's still entertaining. So as long as they're keeping the him slamming his head against a wall and choking himself out of it,
Or dancing in a hallway by himself. That was weird.
Oh yeah.
Once again, the name of our podcast says it all. Ghost Adventures. Real? Fake? Real? Let's see what's going to happen next with Ghost Adventures. But in the end, we love watching Ghost Adventures, whether it's because I'll be dadgum, here he goes on another emotional drama, tangent, or whether it be because they just got through using a new piece of paranormal equipment that catches something that blows our minds. One way or the other, we love watching it, and we wish them the best. Ghost Adventures fan point of view, I really hope that they stick with what they're doing this season, and that's with going back to the evidence, back to their roots. Hey, thanks for joining us for the Paranuts Paranormal Podcast. I want to invite you to write down on your schedule somewhere, put it on get your YouTube notifications on for our channel, because this next week, like I said at the beginning, we are going to be live on our paranormal podcast at a location that we are going to be making a film on. We're going to be live around 7 p.m. or so on Monday, the 17th. Am I correct on that?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and live is going to be interesting because this place has been disembodied voices, very random things. I mean, just
be quiet.
Just for a live point of view, you're going to want to watch it because you never know what's going to happen.
We're going to do the live podcast around 7 p.m. that night from the location, which we will reveal to you during the podcast that we're making a film about. And then after the podcast, there's going to be a brief time there, a couple hours or so, and then we're going to do a live investigation that you can join us with. So, yeah, get your notifications, have them on. Don't forget to tell your friends, subscribe, like, share, blah, 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 and all the good stuff. Until next week, you'll never find two guys crazier about the paranormal than D's nuts.